April 14th, 1912. 6 o'clock in the evening. You just woke up from a nap aboard the most famous ship in history. 4 days ago, you watched England disappear behind you. In 6 hours, an iceberg is going to tear this ship open. By sunrise, more than 1,500 of the people around you will be dead. And here's the part nobody tells you. Whether you live or die tonight was decided days ago by the ticket in your pocket. This is your last night on the Titanic, hour by hour, decision by decision. Let's find out if you survive. But first, let's find out who you are tonight. Because on this ship, your entire future comes down to one piece of paper. There are 3 versions of you on board right now, 3 tickets, 3 completely different odds of seeing tomorrow. Version 1. You wake up in first class on B deck. Your parlor suite cost $4,350, over $130,000 today. You have your own private promenade deck. Down the hall, a heated swimming pool, Turkish baths, a gymnasium with a mechanical camel. Your odds of surviving tonight, 62%. Tonight you'd be dining 10 courses with the richest man on the ship, John Jacob Astor, worth more than the Titanic itself. A few tables over, Benjamin Guggenheim, the mining tycoon. And Margaret Brown, history will call her the unsinkable Molly Brown. Remember her. She earns that name in about 8 hours. Version 2. Second class. Honestly, your cabin is nicer than first class on almost any other ship in the world. You're a teacher, a clergyman, an engineer. You have a library, a smoking room, an elevator. Your odds tonight, 41%. A coin flip you didn't know you were making. Version 3. Third class. Steerage. You paid about £7, everything you had. You share a cabin with strangers and get this, there are just 2 bathtubs for over 700 passengers. But you don't care, because in 5 days you'll walk into New York Harbor and start a new life. That's the plan anyway. Your odds tonight, 25%. One detail you barely notice as you walk to dinner, the low gates separating third class from the decks above. American immigration law requires them. Tonight, some of those gates will stay closed. Remember the gates. Now, about this ship. The press calls her practically unsinkable, and everyone quietly drops the practically. Her hull is split into 16 watertight compartments. She can float with any 2 flooded, even 3, even 4. Nobody has imagined a scenario worse than 4. Hold that number. Up on the boat deck, you pass the lifeboats, 20 of them, with room for 1,178 people. There are 2,224 souls on board. And here's the insane part. That's completely legal. The regulations were written for ships a quarter this size. Nobody's worried. Lifeboats are just ferries to a rescue ship, everyone says. You'll never need them. 7:30 p.m. Dinner winds down. And if you stepped outside right now, you'd notice it instantly. The temperature is collapsing, 43 degrees and falling. Somewhere in the dark ahead of you, the sea is filling with ice. 9 p.m. Deep inside the ship, in a cramped room stacked with equipment, sits a 25-year-old named Jack Phillips, the senior wireless operator. The radio broke yesterday. He spent all night fixing it, and now he's drowning in a backlog of passengers' personal telegrams, stock orders, dinner plans, greetings to New York. Keep him in mind. The next 3 hours of his shift will decide more lives than any captain's order. Because here's what you don't know as you sip your coffee. Today alone, 6 different ships have radioed ice warnings to the Titanic. 6. One of them is sitting under a paperweight on a desk. Another was never posted on the bridge at all. The warnings exist, they're just scattered. 9:40 p.m. The steamer Mesaba radios a final warning. Heavy pack ice and a great number of large icebergs directly in the Titanic's path. It's practically a map of the ice field. Phillips is buried in passenger messages. The warning never reaches the bridge. Nobody on duty ever sees it. 10:55 p.m. This one hurts. A ship called the Californian, sitting stopped in the ice, less than 20 miles away, radios. "Say, old man, we are stopped and surrounded by ice." Phillips, exhausted, snaps back, shut up, I am busy." The Californian's radio operator shrugs, switches off his set, and goes to bed. It's 11:30. Remember exactly where that ship is. She'll be visible on the horizon all night. High above the deck, 2 lookouts climb into the crow's nest for the night shift. Frederick Fleet scans the darkness with his naked eyes. The binoculars? Locked in a cabinet. The officer who had the key was reassigned at the last minute back in England and walked off the ship with the key still in his pocket. A pair of binoculars and 1 small brass key might have saved 1,500 lives. And the night itself is setting a trap. The sea is dead flat, not a ripple, no moon. Sailors will later call it the calmest night they'd ever seen on the Atlantic. Beautiful, right? It's lethal. On a normal night, waves break white against an iceberg's base, and you spot it miles away. Tonight, the ice is invisible. The most beautiful night at sea in living memory is a killing flaw. On the bridge, Captain Edward Smith, 40 years at sea, the most trusted captain in the world. This crossing is his retirement victory lap. At 9:20, he gives his final order. "If it becomes at all doubtful, let me know," and goes to bed. The Titanic charges into a reported ice field at 22.5 knots, nearly full speed. And here's the thing, by 1912 standards, that was normal. Every captain did it. See the ice? Steer around it. It had always worked. Where are you at 11 p.m? If you're in first class, brandy, cigars, a string quartet. If you're in third class, there was a party tonight, fiddles, dancing, someone brought bagpipes. If you're the version of you who stepped outside for air, you're one of the only souls on deck, in 31-degree cold, under all those stars. In 39 minutes, you might be the first passenger to see it. 11:39 p.m. In the crow's nest, Frederick Fleet sees something that shouldn't be there. A black mass, blacker than the night, dead ahead and growing. He grabs the rope and rings the bell 3 times. Then the telephone to the bridge. 4 words, "Iceberg, right ahead." What happens next takes 37 seconds. First Officer Murdoch shouts, "Hard a starboard!" The wheel spins. 26,000 tons of steel begin, slowly, agonizingly, to turn. And here is the cruelest twist of the whole night. If the Titanic had hit that iceberg head-on, she probably survives. The bow crumples, 2, maybe 3 compartments flood, hundreds are injured, but the ship limps to Halifax, and history forgets her. Instead, the turn almost works. The berg slides down her side, and an underwater spur of ice drags along the hull. A glancing blow. The attempt to dodge the iceberg is what kills the ship. Now, did you even feel it? In first class, honestly, probably not. A faint shudder. Your drink ripples. Some passengers sleep straight through it. In third class, down near the waterline, you hear a grinding scrape like the ship dragging over gravel. And within minutes, in the forward cabins, water is coming in under the door. And in Boiler Room 6, stokers dive through a closing watertight door as the ocean explodes through the wall behind them. Here's what the iceberg actually did. Not a gash, not a giant hole. 6 narrow slits and popped seams scattered along 300 feet of hull. Total open area? Around 12 square feet, the size of a door. The largest moving object humans had ever built is going to be killed by a hole you could cover with a dinner table. Midnight. Thomas Andrews, the man who designed this ship, who knows every rivet by name, walks the flooding decks with the captain, doing arithmetic no one has ever done before. 5 compartments are open to the sea. Remember the magic number? 4. The bow will fill and drag the ship down until the water spills over each bulkhead into the next compartment, like an ice cube tray tipping 1 cell at a time. Andrews gives Captain Smith the verdict. The ship is doomed. An hour, 2 at best. Smith knows there are boats for barely half the people aboard. Meanwhile, on deck, nobody's afraid. That's the strangest part. The engines have stopped, and it's the silence that wakes people, not the impact. Passengers wander out in fur coats over pajamas. Someone finds chunks of ice on the forward deck, and third-class lads start an actual football match with them. First-class passengers joke about fresh ice for the drinks. The ship feels enormous, warm, bright, and utterly permanent. 12:15 a.m. Captain Smith gives orders no captain of the era ever expects to give. Uncover the boats. Women and children first. And in the radio room, Jack Phillips starts tapping the distress call. First the old code, CQD. Then his junior, Harold Bride, half joking, suggests the brand new one. Send SOS. It's the new call, and it may be your last chance to send it. It's one of the first SOS calls in history. 12:25 a.m. Now your ticket starts deciding things, but so does something dumber. Which side of the deck you're standing on. On the port side, Officer Lightoller interprets women and children first as women and children only. He lowers boats with empty seats rather than let a man step in. On the starboard side, Officer Murdoch fills remaining seats with men. Same ship, same order. If you're a man, walking to the right side of the deck literally doubles your odds. 12:45 a.m. The first lifeboat drops toward the water. Capacity, 65 people. On board, 28. Why? Look at it from the deck. The Titanic is warm, blazing with light, and unsinkable. The lifeboat is a tiny wooden shell about to be lowered 70 feet in the dark into freezing black water. Passengers literally refuse seats. One woman says she'd rather stay on the nice, bright ship. The seats leave empty anyway. It gets worse. Lifeboat number 1 leaves with 12 people aboard. 12. It had room for 40. Across the whole night, the boats will leave nearly 500 seats empty. 500. 12:45, and the first distress rocket screams into the sky and bursts white over the ship. And on the horizon, someone sees it. Officers on the Californian, the ship whose operator went to bed, watch rocket after rocket rise from a big steamer in the distance. They wake their captain 3 times. He asks what color the rockets are. He tells them to keep watching. Their wireless set sits silent, 15 feet from a sleeping man who could have had rescue underway in minutes. 8 rockets. They watch all 8. And where are you, third class you? Deep in the ship, in a maze of corridors you still haven't learned, behind some of those gates. Some stewards heroically guide groups up. Other passages stay locked or guarded. Many of the people around you don't speak English. They can't even understand the shouted instructions. Whole families sit waiting in the common rooms, clutching their luggage because someone said wait. Some men force the gates. The ones who move early, who leave the bags, who climb toward the noise, those are the ones with a chance. Up on the slanting deck you hear something surreal, music. Wallace Hartley and his band have set up near the grand staircase, and they are playing ragtime, waltzes, anything cheerful, while the bow sinks lower. They will keep playing for the next 2 hours, until the deck tilts too steeply to stand. None of the 8 musicians will survive. Every survivor will remember the music. 1:15 a.m. The mood snaps. The bow is visibly down now. The sea has reached the ship's name on the hull. The lights still blaze, the band still plays, but everyone can feel the floor leaning. The boats stop, leaving half empty. Now there are crowds. Now there's shoving. Now the math, 2,000 people, 12 boats left, is written on every face. And in the middle of the panic, people reveal who they are. Ida Strauss is offered a seat. Her husband Isidore owns Macy's. They've been married 40 years. She steps back out of the boat. Where you go, I go. Their last scene sitting together in deck chairs. Benjamin Guggenheim changes into his finest evening wear. We've dressed in our best and are prepared to go down like gentlemen. And Molly Brown gets rowed away in boat 6, where she'll spend the night demanding they turn around and row back for swimmers. 1:40 a.m. The last regular boats. Crowds surge. Officers link arms in rings around the davits. On the starboard side, warning shots crack into the air. If you are a man in first class, your odds tonight are actually worse than a woman's in third, 33%. If you're still aboard now, whatever your ticket says, your options have shrunk to 2, the stern or the water. 2:05 a.m. Collapsible D, the last boat properly launched, drops away with 44 seats for the roughly 1,500 people still aboard. Captain Smith walks the deck, releasing his crew. It's every man for himself now. In the radio room, the power is dying, and Jack Phillips is still tapping. He never stopped. He tapped for 2 hours straight, and the ships he reached are coming, just not fast enough. 2:17 a.m. The lights, which the engineers stayed below to keep burning, all of them to the end, blaze once and go out forever. The stern climbs into the sky. And then the unthinkable. The ship breaks, tears in half between the 3rd and 4th funnels. At 2:20 a.m., the Titanic is gone. 2 hours and 40 minutes, that's all it took. Now the worst part of this story. The water is 28 degrees Fahrenheit, below freezing. Only the salt keeps it liquid. If you're in it, you're not drowning. Your life vest works fine. You're freezing. You have maybe 15 to 30 minutes of useful consciousness. 1,500 people are in the water, screaming. 20 boats float a few hundred yards away, with 500 empty seats. Close enough to hear everything. They're afraid of being swamped. Out of 20 boats, 1 goes back. Officer Lowe, boat 14. He pulls 4 people out alive. 4:10 a.m. A ship bursts out of the dark, firing rockets of her own, the Carpathia. Her captain heard the SOS and turned instantly, shut off his ship's heating and hot water to shove every ounce of steam into the engines, and raced 58 miles through the same ice field at a speed his ship was never built to reach. He came dodging icebergs in the dark. 705 survivors come aboard. It's over. So, did you survive? Let's check your ticket. First class, 62% lived, and if you were a first-class woman, 97%. Second class, 41. Third class, 25, and more than half of the children in steerage died. Crew, 24%. Same iceberg, same ocean, same night. The single biggest factor in whether you saw the sunrise was a piece of paper you bought a week earlier. And the Californian? She sat within sight of the whole thing, radio off, officers watching the rockets, until morning. If one man had stayed at his wireless set 15 more minutes, it's likely everyone lives. The world was so horrified that the rules changed forever. Lifeboats for every soul on board, 24-hour radio watch on every ship, and an international ice patrol that still guards the North Atlantic today, 114 years later, still on patrol because of this one night. Run the tape back and count the moments where tonight goes differently. A brass key that stays on the ship. A telegram that makes it 3 more steps to the bridge. A radio operator who goes to bed 15 minutes later. A helm order. Hit the thing head on. Boats that leave full. Any single one of those, one, and the Titanic is a footnote. A cold Tuesday crossing that arrived late to New York. Disasters are never one mistake. They're a chain, and every link on its own looks small. 2,224 people went to sleep that night on the safest machine human beings had ever built. The unsinkable ship sank on her first try. Maybe the most dangerous sentence in any century, in any language, is, "Nothing can go wrong." And because you made it to the end, you know how this works. Here's one more fact. The ship's chief baker, Charles Jockin, rode the stern up as it rose, stepped off the very back rail as it went under, barely wetting his hair, he claimed, and then survived over 2 hours in water that killed most people in 20 minutes. His secret, according to him, he'd spent the sinking drinking whiskey. Doctors still argue about it. History is stranger than fiction. If this kept you up past midnight, subscribe. Next time, you wake up in 1348, there's a rumor of a strange sickness in the port, and the doctors are about to make everything worse. One more fact. See you there.